On the way home from the party, the car was struck by a train and crushed her leg. That ended her dancing career. And she was laid up in bed for 2 years or more. The bones in her leg wouldn't heal. And then she discovered that she could really sing. She had sung before, but she, lying there, she just started singing, and she realized she could sing. And I didn't appreciate her as a singer until this interview with Terry Gross, because they would play particular songs that she sang, different excerpts, or they would play almost an entire song. And the purity of her voice. And I was listening to the voice, and then the voice in the interview back in '88, and you can tell that she was elderly. And I was thinking about, aging, how vibrant she was. I can see her, brushing across the floor. She was so high energy. And what aging, that aging process where it takes us. And she has such wonderful memories. She was a wonderful actress, wonderful singer. And latter part of her life, she devoted to taking care of animals. And do you know that she had this animal shelter, and the lady that she was renting the property from decided she was going to shut it down, didn't want to rent it to her anymore. And there were 30 animals left. Doris Day took them all home and took care of every one of them till they died at her home. And she's always, she's been involved in animal activism, taking care of animals and cruelty against animals. She was a remarkable, this interview, my point, the couple things struck me. One was the aging process, and I was listening, and I thought how youthful and beautiful she sounded and was, and she was still, even at 88, beautiful. She was a beautiful person. But what aging does to us, right? And we don't, we all go through it, and we all experience it, and in a way, it made me sad. It shouldn't do that. It's not supposed to affect me like that, but it did. And I thought, man, all these people that left all these great memories and wonderful moments for us. So for me, it helps my wellness.
Well, she recorded over 650 songs.
Well,
that's amazing. She was the top boxer earner 4 times.
Nobody has. I think she's she still holds the record. I don't think anybody has beat her at the box office, man.
No, for 4 times. She's did it 4 times.
And then they played an excerpt. It was a jazz piano trio, and the pianist was Andre Previn. Oh. Andre Previn was a remarkable musician, and she was singing with Andre Previn was playing the piano. He was a jazz pianist. He was a classical conductor. He could play classical music. He conducted the Pittsburgh Symphony for a long time. And I was listening to her, and I thought, how remarkable a voice. What a wonderful gift she gave to people. And I guess, I don't even know why I shared that with you, but it was touching. It was touching. And it was just highlighted the aging process for me and what happens to us as we age. And of course, she had to leave that career behind at some point. Couldn't do it, right? That's what happens to us, I guess. And we have to find ways to adapt. And are we prepared to age and live a long life? She lived to be 97. That's a long time. Most people aren't prepared to live that long. And it is about preparation. But it's moments like that, listening to that interview, it can touch you, right? And cause you to be reflective and appreciate people and the gifts that they give to us. These wonderful artists, whether they be singers, painters, or whomever. humanitarians, people that we are a remarkable species. The dark side of us is there. We see all these terrible crimes and whatnot. But I was thinking how remarkable we are as a species, what we can do, and the gifts that others can give us. Yeah.
You know what surprises me in aging, Doc, is athletes. Male athletes that were prime physical specimens in their younger day, looking like
Then you see them,
like a steamroller hit them, and
yeah. And what happened to them? Where did it go? Some age more successfully than others, Gary.
I watched I think it was the NBA draft and Shaquille O'Neal, and I thought to myself, that man is going to end up having a heart attack. He has.
See how big he is?
And he's a big guy to begin with.
He's so overweight.
And Charles Barkley too.
Yeah, they're so overweight. Yeah, aging successfully. And Doris Day did age successfully. That interview at 88 years old, when it was done by Terry Gross, she was sharp, cognitively sharp, articulate. Yeah. Aging successfully. We all need to work at that. We talk about that on the show. We try to get you there, myself included. I'm on the same bus with you. We'll come back. Some stories trending that I think will intrigue you. We'll be back. To Let's Talk Nutrition. Glad you could be here. Gary's here. Katie's behind the glass. Hi, Miss Katie. You can talk to me. Just trying to find the button.
Good morning.
There you go. How you doing?
I am peachy today.
Peachy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good is just boring, so I like to spice it up and say something fun.
I haven't heard that expression in a long. Peachy keen.
Yes.
I'm just peachy today. Okay. I guess that's better than being punked.
Yeah. Katie's from the sticks with me.
Oh, she is.
Yep, she's down the road from where I live.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all have light? You have electricity out there?
Hey, we listen, we got a Publix, and we were so excited about getting a Publix.
It was Wawa that really excited me.
Yeah, Wawa came in.
Publix is a cultural center.
We got a Starbucks now, too. We just got a Starbucks.
Oh, my God. Jeez. Welcome to the 21st century. Nice to see you, Katie. Thanks for working the board.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a study trending today. Let me send it. Well, we'll see. We'll try to get it to Gary so he can put it up on the screen. It's especially informative for women, and it deals with your diet. Imagine that. It turns out this new study, it was a large experiment, and it suggested that if women would trim the dietary fat from their day-to-day diet and devote more attention to eating fruits and vegetables, that they could lower their risk of dying from breast cancer. They said that the results, this was a story, it was reported all over the place, but I'm giving attribution to CBS here. The results are notable, they reported, because they come from a rigorous test involving 49,000 women over 20 years, 2 decades, rather than other studies that try to, draw these health conclusions from observations about how people ate. This was a longitudinal study. Healthy women who were able to modify their diet for at least 8 years and who later developed breast cancer had a 21% lower risk of dying of the disease compared to other women who continued to eat the same way. I keep saying, and I'll continue to say, there are many reasons why to eat plants, vegetables and fruit and legumes and seeds and nuts and whatnot. It's the chemicals, right? It's the chemicals. They are endowed with chemicals that protect them. And those same chemicals confer a benefit for us. And I know that sounds patently obvious, but I just want to just say it. So say it out loud so we understand what's going on here. And they serve us well, and it's not an accident. It's not an accident. There's a order to this thing that we call biology, evolution, and so on. There's a certain order to it. Those plants, all these plants are available, and we're not the only herbivore on the planet. Of course, humans are omnivores, but the planet has provided the nutrients for species to survive. I mean, it's really it's so obvious, right? But just to think about that, how that has worked out. And it's astonishing to me that some people just inherently, for some whatever reason, learned, or I don't know how, have such an aversion to eating plants. When it has been such a central part of our survival and our evolution. They have served to create the building blocks of what we are. And this study, just another one in a whole line, a whole cascade of studies, one after another and again another, to illustrate how these plants serve us in our quest to stay healthy. Breast cancer is a serious issue for women. Many women are so frightened by it and worry about it.
The neighbor was just diagnosed with breast cancer
Really?
2 days ago.
Hold.
She is 58.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And we are complicated biologically, and the plants fit that very complicated biological system. And, yes, we are omnivores. We do eat meat. We cannot survive without plants. We're done. We're done as a species. You're not going to survive on protein just eating meat. No, can't happen. We would perish. I believe we would eventually perish as a species. But this study is good news for women. So there are things that you can do to take charge of your health. And, I've reported so many times that for a longer life and quality of life, eat vegetables, eat fruit, eat the plants. There's much more I can tell you. We'll be back. new study out. Good news for women. The more plants, vegetables, and fruit that women ate, the greater their chance of not dying from breast cancer. And I was making, my argument as to why the plants are so important. You might be asking, well, how much? How much should I eat? Back in 2017, there was a study done, and they addressed this issue. And I want to give Ashley Welch attribution. She wrote a write-up on the piece for CBS, and she talked about it, and she did a great job in summarizing it. And she found that the researchers discovered that the greatest benefit from the plants came when people ate 10 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. What's 10 portions? How much is that? Well, they estimated in the study that if everyone ate this amount, which is equivalent to about 800 grams or 28 ounces, that approximately almost 8 million premature deaths worldwide would be prevented. So how did they get to these numbers of 800 grams, 28 ounces, 10 portions of fruits and vegetables? The scientists were from Imperial College London, and they analyzed 95 studies on fruits and vegetable intake or consumption. The meta-analysis included 2 million people from populations worldwide, and they assessed up to 43,000 cases of heart disease, 47,000 cases of stroke, 81,000 cases of cardiovascular disease, 112,000 cases of cancer, 94,000 deaths. All right? And one of the investigators in the study, Dr. Dagfinn Un, he said, we wanted to investigate how much fruits and vegetables you need to eat to gain the maximum protection against disease and premature death. Our results suggest that although 5 portions of fruits and vegetables is good, 10 a day is even better, close quote. What was encouraging also about this study was that the results revealed that even eating a smaller amount of fruits and vegetables had protective benefit for people. Consuming 200 grams of fruits and vegetables per day, for example, which is equivalent to 2.5 servings, was associated with a 4% reduction in risk of cancer and a 15% reduction in the risk of premature death. But eating 10 portions of fruits and vegetables per day was tied to a 24% reduced risk for heart disease, 33% reduced risk for stroke, 28% reduced risk for cardiovascular disease, 13% reduced risk for cancer, and a 31% reduced risk for premature death. That's those are compelling data. Those are compelling findings. And they checked for intervening variables or other factors. They controlled for a person's weight, smoking habits, physical activity levels, overall diet. But the benefits of fruits and vegetables, even when they did that, still remained. So that's the recommendation from this study. 10 portions, which is 800 grams or 28 ounces of fruits and vegetables. I know that to some people, that sounds like an awful lot. But you have, I don't advocate for the abolition or the complete elimination of eating meat. Why? Because I know it's not going to work. People aren't, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. I go for at least reduce the consumption and make your diet primarily plant-based, and then have the feature, a side feature item would be meat, your choice, beef, lamb, chicken, some sort of fowl, pork. If it's organic, raised, free range, not from CAFOs, not meat, not from the animals that were raised in these concentrating animal feeding operations. That meat, risky business. My guest is Richard Passwater. As I said, I can't even remember where I saw. It was last week. He was somewhere posing in some country, and I can't even remember. I can't keep up. Richard, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Where are you today?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for having the technology that you do that allows me to call in from wherever I might be. Today I'm back in Quito, Ecuador.
Where in Ecuador?
Quito, Ecuador, the capital, I believe. It's quite high here. I think we're at.
You say you're high?
100 meters.
you say you're high? What did you say?
Well, I'll rephrase that. The elevation where I am is quite significant. I believe it's.
Are you having a hard? Are you having a hard time breathing?
3,100 meters. Sorry.
What's the elevation?
I think where I am, it's 3,100 meters.
Wow. Can you tell? Is your respiration affected or no?
Yes, it is. The last 2 days, we were in Guayaquil, which is on the coast, and it had an elevation of 10 meters, and it's noticeably different. I wish I could tell you I was in physical condition, that a 3,000 meter difference wasn't clinically relevant for me. But I wouldn't be fooling many people if I tried to tell them that.
And what in heaven's name are you doing? Did you say Quito? Ecuador.
Quito, yes.
What are you doing there?
Well, I came down to. I had an opportunity to participate and speak at the. There's a medical society that concentrates on sports medicine, and they had their first Congress of International Sports Medicine in Quito, and we weaved it into a trip to do some media promotion here in Quito, and the trip's been quite interesting. On Monday, we got to do an interview at a radio station at the Ecuadorian National Assembly, where their Congress meets. They have several radio stations that have studios behind glass that sort of overlooks the assembly floor. So we got to go inside their National Assembly and do a radio program. And then they turned on the lights for the assembly hall and allowed us to go down on the floor. And
we'll talk some more. We're showing a photograph. It's beautiful there.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable? Take solace. You're one of millions.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Richard Passwater is my guest today. He is in Quito, Ecuador, formerly known as San Francisco de Quito. It's the capital and largest city of Ecuador. It's at an elevation of 2,850 meters, translated into feet. That's 9,350 feet above sea level. It is the second highest, official capital city in the world after La Paz, and which is closest to the equator. We're showing a photograph or an image of it. It's a nice looking city. It's located in the Guayallabamba River Basin. I'm not familiar. I've never been there. On the east, on the eastern slopes of Picachina, I guess that's how you say it. Picachina. My Ecuadorian or Spanish is terrible. In 2008, the city was designated as the headquarters of the Union of the South American Nations. Richard, welcome back. There's a little summary of the city. It looks like a nice city, is it?
It's quite pretty. The buildings roll up the hill, and the hills are a deep, rich green color. It's a very beautiful place.
All right, I got to ask, how's the food?
Oh, the food's outstanding here. They definitely have the best fruit and juices that I've had anywhere I've traveled. It's about my fourth or fifth time here, and each time I think I must have hit the right season because everything was just perfect. But I think it's like that every day.
Is it a culture that's more plant-based, or is it a mix between plants and meat?
It's a mix between both plants and meat. But I think it's kind of in that ratio that I think you would like, where it's much more a plant, and the meat seems to be traditionally raised, and it's cooked very, very well. I mean, they prepare it a lot by marinating it in juices and acid type things to kind of tenderize it. They don't cook it.
The animals aren't raised in CAFOs. You know what a CAFO is, right? A CAFO is a concentrated feeding animal operation in the crowded. You know for the cattle, for the hogs, for the chickens. They don't raise the animals that way. These animals roam outside on the land and eat grass.
Yes, that's correct. I don't even see the chicken houses like we have in the States, where they'll put 20,000 chickens in a single structure. Here, the chickens are out in the field and things.
They're not in the hotel, are they?
I've been to hotels like that. Not at this one. We're very fortunate. We're doing a doctor's conference.
You know you're in trouble when you walk in the lobby and there are chickens at the counter at the front desk.
That's when you fire your assistant and get a new assistant.
That's when I pivot and no, we're not staying here.
I was traveling in Hong Kong with our medical director, and he told our distribution partner in Hong Kong he wanted to stay at somewhere authentic, and there was a Chinese restaurant that had live chickens, and the chickens escaped into the hotel.
Oh my God, I was joking, so it does happen. Well, you're amazing. Where have you been so far this year? How many countries?
Oh, I'm having trouble counting. My wife got a new passport the second week of January, and she was traveling with me earlier in the year, and she's traveling with me on this trip too. 7 stamps by the end of February, and I was quite impressed with that. But I'm trying to think. On this trip, I've been to Geneva, Switzerland for the VitaFoods event, and then I went to Madrid, and then here to Lima, Guayaquil, back to Lima. I was at Quito. Sorry, then to Guayaquil, back to Quito, and then I'm going to Lima on Sunday for a week there.
And they're all dialed into BioSil. They're truly in Quito, Ecuador. They want to know about BioSil. Seriously?
Yes, we did it's actually in Ecuador. BioSil's the 7th best-selling OTC product.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
We did a seminar on Monday morning for the radio show I was talking about. We were over at the military hospital, and we did a presentation and a seminar to a group of traumatologists about the importance of collagen generation in. We started with joint health, and then we went for the whole body after different types of trauma injuries.
If I was working in that marketing department, I can tell you one of the things that would be produced would be a marketing film, showing BioSil and its popularity in all of these different countries. It makes no difference. Ecuador, Peru, Argentina. I know you've been there. You've been to Switzerland. Wherever you go, all over the world, BioSil is a hit. I mean, somebody's got to make that film, man. I mean, that's remarkable.
I better consult with you, and we'll.
Well, you got to have that company. You know, these companies hire me. The ideas I give them. I mean, this is simple. That is a feature. That would be a feature marketing film, man.
People like to look good everywhere, and
exactly.
Joint. They want comfortable joints that function real well and that are strong and flexible. And we're very fortunate to have a product that addresses both of these issues and does so quite effectively. And it's interesting. Each market has its own life and a mind of its own. But it's at the bottom line is people like to look good and people like to feel good. And we're very fortunate. Our product is useful for that.
Isn't that interesting? No matter how different people are from country to country, culture to culture, you know, the linguists are very intrigued with talking about the principle of universals of language, and that there are certain universals that overarch all languages. There are certain universals that overarch all cultures and people and what they like and dislike, notwithstanding all of the unique differences and idiosyncrasies of these cultures. People, you're right. People, no matter where, Ecuador, Italy, Poland, Germany, where all these places you've been, they all, Japan, in the Asia, all the Asian countries, the Philippines, wherever, everybody wants to look better. You feel better when you look better. We'll be back. Are you tired of being tired? So is Amanda until she tries. Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. Glad you could stop by for a little bit, or for however long you can stay. We're here Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day, round numbers 9 to 11 Eastern. Of course, the show is syndicated, and therefore it does air at different times in different markets. And we stream the show, if you caught on different platforms. Gary will tell you about that in a second. And that stream takes us worldwide, and we are global. So Gary's here. Katie's behind the glass. Richard Passwater, our guest, is in Quito, Ecuador, which is a rather intriguing place. I've been doing a little research on Quito during this long break for the second hour. Quite remarkable. But before I go there and get back to Richard, Gary's going to tell you how to connect and make contact. And we appreciate that. So nobody's around to dress you, and you always put your top on the wrong, put your arm in the wrong slot?
Oh, who told you that?
You walk around all day?
Gary.
You walk around all day with your arm in the wrong, you had it in the wrong hole for the sleeve, or how do you?
Listen, I get up at 2:30 in the morning, so let's start there. So it's okay that I mess up getting dressed sometimes.
We live so far away, Doc. I get up at 4.
Well, you work another show, right?
I do, yeah, before this one.
Mm-hmm. Which show is that?
The Kane Show.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a syndicated
What time
show.
does that go on?
It starts at 5, or it starts at 6 actually, and I get there like 4:45.
Wow.
So yeah, sometimes I can't dress myself. It's fine.
Good for you, man. Wow, you're hard working.
Katie, I got a question. You're interested in health and fitness, and I mean, you're thin. It looks like you eat well.
I do.
Okay. And what is one of the biggest things that concerns your health at your age right now that do you think people your age are concerned with?
I think finally, it's taken a while, but I think people my age are finally starting to realize what goes into food and becoming more aware of it just because of all the apps and keeping track of macros and stuff. So I think that's becoming a thing. Like my best friend right now is super concerned with everything that's actually in the food. So I like that people are becoming aware of that.
Well, we certainly talk about that around here.
It's funny because you mentioned that yesterday about going to the store, and it looks like a library because people are reading the boxes.
Yeah, the grocery store has become sort of like a public library for nutrition, which is good. It's a good idea. As I said, my guest is Richard Passwater. He is in Quito, Ecuador. It's a city that I'll bet $5 he's been to La Paz, which is closest to the equator. It's located if you want to know, in the Guayallabamba River Basin, on the eastern slopes of the Pinchincha, some such. I'm reading that on the fly there, but you get my point. Apparently, there's a lot of mountainous area, and you got buildings built into the mountainside or slopes. From what I can tell from these photographs, it looks like a beautiful city. Richard, welcome back. Large Catholic presence there, pretty religious.
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, on Sunday we had dinner or lunch at a beautiful restaurant on a mountaintop, and it overlooked the old colonial part of this city. And they have the church you mentioned. But on every block, there's another church. I've never seen such a high per capita area of churches anywhere I've gone. And it's churches are very prevalent throughout Europe and South America, but here I feel it's the most prevalent.
So the audience to whom you spoke was constituted of what? Of whom? What kind of professionals?
Well, we've done a couple of different events. We started with the military hospital, where it was a group of traumatologists. And then we went and we did a radio show on basically like a public radio station. And then after that, we did some television at a sports station about the importance of nutrition for tendon and ligament health. And after that, we went to Quito and we spoke at a sports nutrition conference there, and we did a series of media events around that, mostly about the impact of BioSil on maintaining healthy joints, whether it be cartilage, tendons, or ligaments. So it's been a variety of different audiences, from the general public to traumatologists to people working in the sports medicine community. It's been a real nice opportunity.
Wow. So all over the world, people have an interest in this product. I'm not surprised. I really am not. I've been familiar with this product and talked about it for years now, and it is sustained, which is great evidence. It's not a clinical trial, but it's certainly great evidence that demonstrates the effectiveness of that product. If it didn't work, they wouldn't buy it in Quito. They wouldn't buy it in anywhere that on this planet where it is now so popular. It's quite remarkable. Again, I don't know what Biominerals, that marketing department, is doing, but if I was a consultant for the company, I would say need to make home about the presence of BioSil in all these cultures and how it's embraced. And that speaks volumes. It really does speak volumes about this wonderful product. Any breaking news in terms of studies with the product?
No, we talked about a case study that our medical director did on tennis players.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's review that when we come back, and then we'll talk about how it's a beauty and health product all the way around. Ridgecrest. To Let's Talk Nutrition. BioSil. BioSil is an international favored product, and for good reason. I mean, I've been talking about it for years, and they've been a sponsor for a long time. Whether they were a sponsor or not, I'm just telling you that dollar for dollar, you get the biggest bang for one of the biggest bangs for your nutritional buck. I hate to sound like I don't mean to sound like a salesman or salesperson, but I'm telling you the medicinal potential, the benefits gleaned from that product are remarkable, externally and internally. You know, for hair, skin, and nails, it's truly amazing. It helps your body synthesize collagen. Collagen is essential to all your connective tissue. That would include your skin, you know. And in terms of its benefit to joints, and yeah, so Richard's going to tell you about that. Richard, welcome back. So, you know, who's the lady in the blue dress?
Although that was a picture from the sports medicine conference, and she was one of the BioSil brand ambassadors that was helping us out at the booth.
Well, whoever you have somebody in that department that knows what they're doing, because she certainly made you look better.
I don't think people see me in the picture.
No, you're there. Oh, you look great, man. No, man. Gary, show that photo, please. You look great. My goodness, she's a representative for BioSil.
Yeah, she's a triathlete, and we have a couple of spokespeople in Ecuador, female triathletes, and one recently placed very well in the Ironman that they held down.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. Even the athletes are drawn to the product because of the stress and the strain on their joints, on all their connective tissue, their tendons. The product would be, first of all, people that are more advanced in age. This product is a must. Women in menopause, you may be perimenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal. The product is a must, given what happens in menopause. So, I mean, for young and old alike, athlete, non-athlete, the product has great application.
Yeah, absolutely. Many people don't realize that the osteoarthritis symptoms that older people get can often manifest from wear and tear on the joint tissue, and the sports person model is really an accelerated version of that. The older people put wear and tear on the joints over a long lifespan, and over time, the rate of the tear down exceeds the body's ability to replenish those tissues or remodel them. Where in younger people and participating in intense sport, it's a more accelerated model, but it's basically the same thing, wear and tear. Other things such as injury or illness, or reactions to different types of medications or environmental pollutants or something can accelerate the process. But it's basically the injuries at the wear and tear injuries in athletes, and the more osteoarthritis-like symptoms that older people develop are pretty much caused by the same thing, cartilage degradation. And it's very exciting in the scientific community to see the researchers in sports medicine working better with the more traditional osteoarthritis researchers to share what they're learning and to collaborate on treating this as one condition, collagen breakdown in the joints, as opposed to two separate conditions, sports related issues versus age related issues, which have been the case through most of the time here.
877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK. Right now, there's a trend in the natural products industry in the world of consumer natural product, whatever you want to call that, regarding collagen. It is the rage, right? You see it all over the place, and in cosmetics, they're spending tens of millions of dollars in collagen products, maybe even more than that. It's astonishing how collagen has caught on. And Richard, he made the observation, we made it sort of together here, that in all these different countries that he's been to and keeps going to, there's one of the common denominators of all of them is that people want to look better. Their hair, their skin, their nails, and they're concerned about their joints. Doesn't make any difference if you're in Quito or in Canada, Quito, Ecuador, or wherever you may be. It's the same. People want those they're concerned about those kind of issues. This product, talk a little bit about its collagen synthesizing capability and what that means to people everywhere.
Well, BioSil is a unique complex that activates enzymes in the body that produce collagen all throughout the body, in the skin, bones, the joint tissues such as cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and is also in lungs, the gastrointestinal tract, the fascia around muscles, the framework that holds organs in place, all have a collagen framework. And I have a challenge when talking about it, where if I just talk about all the different potential applications for it, and it starts to sound like Uncle Ben's Wonder Tonic.
Well, that's okay. Uncle Ben or
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempanol, the only
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Richard Passwater is the guest today. He is in Quito, Ecuador. Quite a lovely-looking city. You get to experience vicariously. I get to experience these places that he travels. He's actually there. I mean, he's on the road a lot. I don't know how many passports he must fill a year with the stamps. They have to punch it.
3-ring binder.
Yeah, I know. You give him a 3-ring binder. It's amazing where he goes. And wherever he goes, the product, BioSil, is known, popular, among the best sellers there, wherever it may be. Basel, Switzerland, Quito, Ecuador, Pisa, Italy, wherever he's gone. It's just, it's one of those. It's an international kind. It's Biominerals is. I'll let him tell you. Tell them about Biominerals, Richard. Welcome back.
Well, thank you for having me. Biominerals is a research and development in production company in Destelberg in Belgium. We study connective tissue, and our flagship product is BioSil.
Mm-hmm.
And BioSil helps the body make collagen. The body needs to make collagen and elastin on an ongoing daily basis to remodel the tissues, all the connective tissue in the body. And a group of Spanish and French researchers one time determined that the body needs to make about a 1/4 pound of collagen every day to remodel the skeleton, the skin, muscle, cartilage, heart, lung, and ligament tissues. And there's more collagen tissues in the body, so the total amount of collagen that has to be made every day even exceeds that. And the process of making collagen is quite, it's not so efficient. The body needs to use the standard protein synthesis process, the transcription, but then it has to use a series of enzymes to process the pro-collagen or pre-collagen to make it into mature collagen. And the process is so inefficient that the standard person has to make about 2.25 pounds of pro-collagen per day to actually get the 1/4 pound of mature collagen that it needs to stay healthy. So BioSil can help streamline this process and make it more efficient and generate more collagen in the body so that the body can properly repair and replenish the collagen-based tissues. You see the results of BioSil first generally in the skin because it's where you see collagen when you look at somebody, but it's stimulating collagen and elastin all throughout the body.
Mm-hmm. Pretty amazing. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Dell lives in Tampa, Florida. Dell, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Hi.
I've got a question. Well, first of all, how are you?
You talking to me? That's a line from...
you talking to me?
Yeah, Robert De Niro in Taxi.
Exactly.
Was it Taxi?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Was that the movie, Gary?
Yeah.
Was it Taxi?
Taxi driver.
Taxi driver. You talking to me? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. I'm doing okay. One day at a time. We're good.
Yes, I got a question for Richard here about the BioSil. I've been taking it for a while, but I'm in my early 80s, and I think my skin is about 2, maybe 3 molecules thick. It seems like if I bump into something, I don't get a puncture, I get a flap.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if it says take 1 twice a day, 3 or 4 a day, would that increase its working ability, or would that be kind of overdone? Just in other words, would more help?
It's for you.
It's a very good question. In the studies that we've done, I guess I should first start by congratulating you to get to the early 80s, and I tip my cap to that. You're living right. And second, in studies we've done, giving people higher dosages hasn't yielded better results. But from time to time, I do talk with and see where health professionals recommend higher dosages. As an example, the famous dermatologist Nicholas Perricone recommends 4 a day of the capsules, and as does Sherry Rogers, and she recommends the 4 a day for joint health.
And as does Dr. Michael Garko.
And Dr. Garko and Dr. Perricone, I both look up to. They have a lot in common, and I really respect both of them a great deal. And I would try 2 twice a day for maybe a 3-month period and see if it helps any. See if it works better for you. My father, as an example, he's 83. He says when he takes 2, he doesn't notice as good of benefits as if as a dynamic benefits as if he takes 4 a day. So based on that, but it's just anecdotal and feedback. I'm confident that going to 2 twice a day will work better for you.
I've been there for a good while now, and so part of my concern was if a number more, doubling it or something like that, was anything negative. But you're saying it just doesn't seem, in many cases, to add anything. But I think I'm going to give it a try for a while. And
do you bruise easily?
Yes, I'm starting to get those big red patches on the arm.
Do you take an aspirin a day, baby aspirin? Is that what you do?
I'm allergic to it, so absolutely not.
You're not. Do you are your let's see. Have you are your blood? Do you have a blood clotting issues of any sort?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Blood pressure's been low. I've been on one of the blood pressure things, 114 over 55, stuff like that.
It's better to have it low than high, I guess. I don't know. You can always raise it. It's hard to get it down, though, boy.
Yep.
Well, you're doing well, Del, and we appreciate your questions, and they're articulate and always good questions, because I know other listeners and viewers might have the same kind of question. We appreciate that. Thank you for.
Is there anything he can suggest that might add to this? Like I say,
would recommend.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Go ahead, Richard.
Oh, I would recommend 2 grams of vitamin C twice a day.
I take more than that. More.
Oh, good. And also some sort of polyphenol, such as pycnogenol, to help protect. Also, polyphenols like found in blueberries and bilberries. Usually the red and purple fruit polyphenols are very effective at sticking to collagen and elastin tissues.
We'll be right back.
Body to protect them.
Thank you.
Our guest today is Richard Passwater, and he's in Ecuador, as it turns out. And here's simply the question. In what city is he visiting and lecturing? In what city is he visiting and lecturing? Is it Quito, Ecuador, Duran, or Macas? Which one of those cities in Ecuador is Richard currently visiting and lecturing? In fact, he's calling from there today. Is it Quito, Ecuador, Duran, or Macas? With the right answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card. Contact us at
877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK.
Richard, welcome back. What's on your agenda? First of all, what time is it there?
In Quito, they're on Central Time.
So,
and
what time?
I have an easy day today. I think there's 2 press interviews, and then we have a conference where about 200 doctors, mostly in the orthopedic field of medicine, or some rheumatologists as well, are coming to hear a talk from our medical director and I about the BioSil's role in maintaining healthy bones and joints this evening.
So it's going for 10 o'clock there in the morning?
Yeah, that's correct, yes. 1 hour behind where you are.
They're in Central Time. Wow. That's not much of a time change. Do you like it there? I mean, what's your experience like generally?
Yes, I like it here in Quito. It's for as large of a city as it is, the wind seems to be good, and it doesn't seem too polluted. It's very pretty. And I get a magazine called International Living, where it encourages people to retire overseas. And Quito is often, as well as other spots in Ecuador, are often promoted as prime retirement areas where it's easy to retire on modest amounts of income. And I see why they pick Quito. It's a really Western type city where I think somebody from the U.S. or London or Paris or somewhere could move and acclimate quite easily. It's a real world-class city.
Mm-hmm. This kind of experience that you're having is once in a lifetime. In fact, it's take up your whole lifetime. It's really remarkable to experience all these different cultures and watch people live their lives the way they do, and the norms and the values and all the rituals of the culture, never mind the food, the music, the art, the sports. It must be something to take that all in all the time.
It's a real blessing, and I wake up very fortunate every day to get to see it. And I certainly not something I set out to do or ever thought that I would get to see. I'm from a very small town where on the coast in Maryland, and most people I don't think travel 3 states away, let alone get a chance to travel the world. And the overwhelming thing I see when I travel is that people are people, and that people's diet and lifestyle really impact their health and their well-being. And when I started out, I was, I'm a nutritional biochemist, and I really focused on biochemistry. But the more lifestyle and dietary impacts on human health that I see, I really feel it's like my duty to try to encourage people to really let them know they're in charge of those 2 things, and that they can make meaningful changes that will really make clinically relevant improvements in their health and well-being, both mental and physically.
I guess you find no matter what culture, people are trying to find ways they may not, I don't know if they think of it this way, but they're trying to take charge of their health. They're trying to find ways to have better health, wellness, and well-being, and thereby, live a longer life with quality of life. I think that's a universal, isn't it?
Yes, I see more and more people. Sometimes it's done from different for different reasons. But there's a much more take charge of my own health type mentality than 30 years ago when I got going in this business, and I really respect that. And I also I also really in the beauty side of it, I really like the change where people are associating looking healthy with being beautiful. And there have been times in my career where it seemed when these smoky eyes were real popular and these like abnormally low body weights, and I thought that at times there were certain cultures that were famous or that were really like promoting unhealthy looking people as being beautiful, where I really think most places I go and talk about beauty, the people want to be healthy.
Mm-hmm. They do. Let's go to Greg. Greg, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Hi, Doc. How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
I can't complain. Nobody care anyhow if I did. So.
Oh, we care.
Well,
we care.
Care. That's one thing you do. Definitely do care.
We do care.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this. That's right.
Exactly. So where is Richard today? Is he in Quito? Is he in Quito, Macas, or Duran, Ecuador?
He is in Quito, Ecuador.
Yeah, formerly known as San Francisco de Quito. Now they just shortened it to Quito. Congratulations. You won a $25 supplement gift card, Greg.
Thank you,
and
Doctor, I appreciate that.
And we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to the show. We're grateful.
You have a great day.
You do the same. Well, we always, after you leave Quito, where are you headed, man?
To Lima, Peru. We have a series of meetings with doctors in the dermatology and orthopedic business next week. I think there's 4 or 5 seminars, and we're going to try to do some television, radio, and print media as well.
Wow, you're busy. You're busy. That's good. And your wife's traveling.
I'm very fortunate. I get to talk about something I love and believe in. BioSil stimulates collagen all throughout the body, and I'm fortunate on this trip my wife is accompanying me.
That's wonderful. Give her our best. We send our regards.
She enjoyed the good care you took of her when you let her in the studio.
She's welcome as well as you anytime.
We appreciate it.
You can come to our house anytime you want. BioSil. Go to biosilusa.com. Learn about it. Your health is your wealth, and your health is your wealth. Yep, it is. It is.
Everyone's raised